They say no one who takes the Black Hollow Road ever comes back, but Ethan didn't believe in ghost stories until he saw her. A girl standing in the middle of the road, staring, smiling, waiting. What happened next? No one could ever explain, but the last thing he heard was a whisper from the darkness. You shouldn't have stopped. The night was unnaturally still. A dense fog curled around the twisted trees, creeping over the abandoned road like ghostly fingers. Ethan's car purred quietly as he drove, his headlights barely piercing the darkness. The silence in the vehicle was thick, just him and the steady drumming of his fingers against the steering wheel. He shouldn't have taken this road. The shortcut through Black Hollow was infamous, whispered about in hushed voices, stories of people vanishing without a trace. He scoffed at the idea. Urban legends. Nothing more. Yet, as he glanced in the rearview mirror, he swore he saw movement in the back seat. His heart slammed against his ribs. He turned, but the back seat was empty. A shiver crept up his spine. Maybe exhaustion was getting to him. He focused back on the road, but something felt off. The trees, the mist, the very air, something watched him. He felt it. A flickering shadow darted across his headlights. His breath hitched. He swerved, tires skidding, nearly sending him off the road. He cursed under his breath, gripping the wheel tighter. When he looked up, a figure stood in the middle of the road. A girl, pale, motionless, eyes hollow and dark as the abyss. His foot slammed the brake. The car screeched to a halt inches away from her, but she didn't move, didn't flinch, just stared. Ethan's hands trembled as he reached for the door handle. A cold dread slithered through his veins, screaming at him to stay inside, to drive, to run. But something about her. He rolled the window down just slightly. Hey, are you okay? No answer. The girl tilted her head, her mouth slowly curling into an unnatural smile. Ethan's stomach churned. That wasn't right. That wasn't human. Then she moved. Not walked, not ran, but shifted. In an instant, she was inches from his window, her face nearly pressed against the glass. Ethan gasped, scrambling back, but she was gone. The air inside the car thickened, suffocating. His breathing quickened. He grabbed his keys, desperate to restart the engine, but his fingers froze. A whisper slithered through the car. You shouldn't have stopped. His pulse pounded in his ears. He turned the key. The engine groaned, but didn't start. Another whisper. Closer. You brought me back. The rear-view mirror reflected something he shouldn't see. Her, sitting in the back seat, her head tilted, that same unholy grin spreading across her face. Her eyes locked onto his, hollow pits of darkness. A guttural, unnatural sound crawled from her throat, growing, twisting, until it wasn't a sound but an all-consuming presence. Ethan's breath hitched. He threw the door open and bolted, but the moment his feet hit the ground, he realized he wasn't on the road anymore. The trees stretched impossibly tall around him, their branches contorted like skeletal fingers. The fog thickened, swallowing the world beyond a few feet. His car gone, the road gone, everything gone, except for the whisper. You can't leave. A slow, dragging sound slithered behind him. He turned. Nothing. But the whisper, it came from inside him now. A cold breath crawled against his neck. His scream never left his lips. Darkness devoured him whole. The next morning, the town woke to another empty road, another missing person, another whispered legend about the girl in Black Hollow. And somewhere, deep in the trees, a new whisper joined the wind. But this time, the whisper carried a name. Ethan. Days turned into weeks. The legend grew. Some claimed to hear his voice calling from the woods at night, a faint, desperate plea that sent shivers down their spines. Others swore they saw a shadow moving just beyond the tree line, flickering in and out of existence like a broken memory. One night, a young couple driving through the same road stopped, their car sputtering as if suffocated by the fog. The man got out, flashlight trembling in his grip. His girlfriend screamed as she saw someone, standing at the edge of the woods. A man, Ethan, but his face wasn't his anymore. The girl in the road still waited, watching, smiling. And now, Ethan stood beside her, another lost soul, whispering for the next traveler to stop.